Welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about how often should you be applying for credit. Now, I'm going to start this video off by letting you guys know that credit is a process that a lot of us like to just rush into and feel like we can just magically create perfect credit overnight. However, it takes time, it takes building, it takes growth. So the answer that you may get may not be the answer that you want by the end of this video, but I'm going to do a lot of explaining throughout this video to make you understand why this is the ideal time frame. So, how often should you apply for credit? My initial answer is going to be it depends on where you are in the credit building process. Now, I'm going to break this down amongst many other factors, but I just want to start out by saying if you're just now beginning in credit, you have to understand that you have to plan ahead for what you plan on applying for, and depending on what your future goals are is going to make a very big difference in what you're going to apply for and how much credit you're going to be acquiring and how quickly. So one of the big factors is if you're planning on making a big purchase, an auto loan or a home loan, then you do not want multiple hard inquiries. Therefore, when it comes to creating your foundation, you're going to want to use accounts that are like authorized user accounts or, your own primaries that do not do hard pulls. So when people first start off their credit profile, I like to tell everyone it's good to start with a strong base and have like 3 cards. Um, you know, because with having 3 revolving trade lines, as long as they're good, no annual fee trade lines, you can keep them for forever. If anything ever goes wrong with one of them, you still have a strong base. You still have another 2 that you can look at. And so I always like to recommend that. However, I have some people that say, oh, I want to purchase a home or a car. And I tell them, now you have to reevaluate your situation. And by reevaluating your situation, you need to know that you have to have the least amount of hard inquiries. Therefore, you may not want to jump out with 3 cards. Maybe only get 1 card, or, get a card that doesn't pull, or get a card and then get authorized users if you have people who are willing to add you. So that's going to be as far as starting. So when you're starting out, you're either going to want to rapidly build your base credit profile as quickly as possible, or you're going to be more conservative. Make sure that you're getting cards that you're going to keep, and when you get those cards that you're going to keep, then move into those larger purchases that you want to make. Of course, the older your credit profile, the longer you can push out making larger purchases, the better off you're going to be. Now, the next thing is, because we're planning ahead, you've built your base. Now you have to understand if something is a necessity, if it comes down to a rough situation and you have no other choice, of course, it is okay to make an exception, to say, I'm going to apply and get this approval or that approval. I'm going to take advantage of this bonus offer. If there's something that's going to make your life a little bit better, free up some of your finances, make your life easier for you, and it's going to allow you to get to your long-term goals quicker, then yes, it's okay to apply for things quicker and take advantage of those. Just make sure that you're being conscious, though, of what your end goal is, because you don't want to push off your end goal because you're spending so many inquiries on the smaller things in the time being. Now, once you've figured out your end goal, you have planned out ahead, what I recommend is, in your plan, try to space out your credit applications. a minimum of 3 months, ideally between 6 and 12 months. What this is going to do is basically, if you space your applications out every 3 months, that means you'll never go over 8 hard inquiries. If you space them out every 6 months, you should never go over 4 hard inquiries. If you space them out every 12 months, you should never go over 2 hard inquiries. By using these spacings and spacing your applications out so much further rather than applying for things every month, every 2 months, what you're doing is you're showing the bank that you can maintain your finances, you can manage them, that you can handle the money that they're going to be lending to you, and that you're not just running out seeking credit. You're not just looking for credit anywhere that you can find it. And when you do that, that makes your credit profile a lot stronger. So once again, ideally, the best amount of time that you could wait would be every 2 years, because every 2 years is going to, of course, only leave you with 1 hard inquiry on your report. But if we're going to be realistically speaking, it's best to space out applications a absolute minimum of 3 months, 6 months if possible, and 12 months is even greater, to keep those hard inquiries down, to keep those accounts spaced out, to not affect your credit age very much, to not affect your inquiries, and show that you're actively seeking credit. This is going to be that ideal time frame. So what I want you to do now is, once you finish watching this video, sit down, look over your credit report, check out your credit monitoring, see what your current credit age is, see how many inquiries that you currently have. If you currently have more than 4 hard inquiries, maybe you want to sit down and allow some of those inquiries to fall off. Maybe you want to be a little bit more aggressive and push back a larger purchase to later on. It all depends on your timeline and what your goals are. So just think about your end goals whenever you're thinking about applying for credit, and that's definitely going to allow you to better understand hard inquiries and how often you should and should not be applying for credit. And even though something doesn't give you a hard inquiry, remember that just because something doesn't give a hard inquiry, it does not mean it doesn't affect your credit age, which gravely can affect your approval odds and risk levels. So as always, you guys, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next.